They say more money, more problems. If you ain't got none, let a gun solve them. That's why the text still sparking, jokes still marking, body shapes on pavements, lights flashing. We didn't have no options, so time to choose from right and wrong.
Shoot your shot, not trying is a crime. Love is paid, safety off of Cupid's nine.
Guys, we're all wearing pastels, and I'm very happy right now about it because we didn't even talk about it.
Energy is real. Energy is real. Hello, Nina. What's going on, people?
Nah, I'm good, thank you. Super
always.
excited to have you guys. And let's start this off. Introduce yourselves. Who wants to go first?
My name is Just Isaiah, 24 years old. I hail from borderline East London, Essex, and I'm a creative by the way of music.
And I'm Fèroce, an artist, rapper, songwriter from East London as well.
So the first thing I want to ask you guys is how you guys got into music. How did it start?
Creativity and music has always been there for me. I've always been someone of substance, and I've always wanted to just inspire people. And the same thing that certain people's music done for me in terms of inspiration and making me believe in myself, that's the same feeling that I wanted to give other people as well. And when I first, picked up the pen, wrote my own bars, and I realized I'm actually good at this, there was no stopping me. So that's how I got into music.
It's like a voice, isn't it? The way we grew up, as opposed to most of our peers, was down to music. So whilst most people say, oh yeah, music is my life, music saved me, no, music actually saved us because we were able to express ourselves best through music. We were able to communicate best through music. It's always been from our outlook, if I'm not mistaken, because we've always shared same outlook on life experiences, etc. Because through that, he was able to learn more about himself, as well as myself. I was able to learn more, and through our experiences, we communicate that best through music.
I love that about your music. Your music, like you said, there is a story behind it. When people listen to it, they can hear where the emotion comes from. And I think that's something that is very hard to find in the industry today. You mentioned that you have some inspirations. So who are your inspirations that you can think of who've inspired some of your music?
My friends, I dropped an EP called Glow in the Dark, one of the most prominent songs. All the songs are prominent, but the song that I've noticed that people have really taken a liking to is Cupid's Nine. And that song was inspired, like I said, my friends and their experiences. Within the context of Cupid's Nine, I'm discussing domestic abuse. That's something a lot of my, peers go through, even talking about domestic violence. Some of my friends have been through situations like that. I just wanted to, give them a voice and, use my art for something good. It's just the life around me is what inspires me. Because I feel like when you put other people's stories out there, people can, like I said before, draw inspiration from that to, level up themselves. Or even it's not always about leveling up. Sometimes just knowing that you're not alone.
Mine, similarly to Isaiah, is from other people that we live by or close to, or even our personal experience. Obviously, we have artists that we draw or we've been inspired by in terms of the art itself, but everything else is quite organic, to be very honest. So it's either if it's a girl tune, it's either someone else's experience or our past experience, or if it's something more serious, it's something which someone has experienced around us. So that's why I wouldn't say I'm a certain type of artist, if that makes sense, because like I said, it's just art. Today it could be something drill inspired, tomorrow it could be grime inspired, like Isaiah does, and you never know, it changes all the time. And it's just finding new ways of being able to express better and also communicate better to other people as well. Because whilst most people think, okay, cool, for example, listening to Cupid's Nine, the sound, yes, the sound is a UK-based sound, but the experience isn't just limited to the UK. There are people back in Asia, Africa that go through domestic violence. That may not get to reach them, but in terms of time, it will. And it will touch people differently. So when we create music, that is how we think about things. It's not just being limited to a location, place, or time. It's trying to create something that becomes timeless, as well as being as original as we can be.
That's
Love
right.
to see it. Love to see it. How would you describe the UK rap scene currently, where it's at now and how it's evolved?
In the most respectful way.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
We don't really care. Like what me and Fèroce are trying to do as legacy, you know, as a collective and as individual artists, is just like break the box. The friends or artists that have inspired me, they've never belonged to a scene. They created a scene for themselves and said, come be part of this. If you talk about the UK rap scene, yeah, I think certain artists are dope and they're amazing and I would even work with them, but I don't have an opinion on the UK rap scene. Like, be part of our scene. Our scene is called the legacy scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to build a culture within that. You know, we're not limited to time. We're not limited to genre. You know, we got songs where we sing, you know, we're artists. We're really artists in the full sense of the word. But to give you a general answer about that question, because it's not on some like antisocial thing, like, oh, I don't want to mix with anyone. Like the UK rap scene, it's amazing. There's so much diversity. Once again, the power always goes back to you as an artist, as a creator or a consumer. What's the UK rap scene to you? To me, the UK rap scene might be a Gets or a Koji Radical or a Fèroce. To someone else, the UK rap scene is a Digga D or an AJ Tracy or someone else. You know, so you define it.
No, rightly so. And to elaborate on that, like, if we were not even to offer any sort of criticism, like as I said, but I feel like it's somewhat recycled in the sense where it's harder for people to be original or authentic, because when coming into music, like every artist stick to their roots and what they believe in. But with like every industry, you get molded into something else, because I guarantee you a lot of artists who most people do enjoy their music, they probably made better music before. Right now, it's just what sells. And that's why, like Isaiah said, the UK scene to most people is different. But we're not trying to criticize anyone for being able to make a living or change their living situation or those around them. Like, no, that ain't what this is about to us.
I mean, you know, it's interesting because I feel like I asked that question as the international voice. So when you ask about rap from other places in the world, it's kind of interesting to see what the scene is there currently. Obviously, the scene is always changing. That's one thing about the industry that everyone has to realize, that the scene is always changing and there's always different people being brought in. There's different subcategories within that scene. And I think it was just, you know, it's a question of really just for international viewers to get a sense about what is going on in the UK in terms of music right now.
For anyone abroad who's watching, the UK rap scene is full of flavor. You know,
it's quite broad.
Yeah, it's very broad. There's nothing you won't find. It's not different. Like in all kinds of countries, all kinds of scenes, you'll have your political rappers, you'll have your dancey rappers. You know, you have like your wave rappers. Yeah, apart from that, it's a melting pot of cultures in real life. So the music reflects that.
I think my next question is, what would you guys like to see changing in the music industry as artists yourselves? What do you want to see, I guess, coming in the future for people who are coming in, people like ourselves who are creatives? What are you guys looking for?
The list is endless, but I think the primary thing for me is support for artists that you'd actually look at and see that they're actually talented and have something to say. Because I feel like at the moment, anyone would sign what's hot, because as creatives within our own right, we feel like we're all the best, all well and deserved. But let's be actually truthful about some of the content that is being released. You could tell even a lot of the established artists like fight for their spot within a label. If that's what you're actually going through or going for, they fight for this spot because all they have to do is sell records that sell, even if it's recycled, just to maintain their spot. But then with most of them, you could tell like their art comes from a real place. It takes a lot when you see someone like Gets trying to have his #1 album after 17 years. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got people that are hitting the charts like there's no tomorrow, like easily. So I'm saying support the underdogs. Also support a lot of upcoming artists that you could actually tell are talented. Stop exploiting artists for the benefits of a label.
As much as like there's things that could be changed within the industry and things that should be changed and should be discussed, I'm accountable for my greatness. So I'm not looking at the industry saying, what would I change about the industry? I'm looking at myself saying, what would I change about myself? But just to like answer the question, an equal playing field, you know, where it shouldn't be because an artist makes a certain type of content, everyone deserves the same like level of reward no matter what they do. It should be about how much energy you put into the art. If their heart wasn't in it or they didn't put that much work into it, they shouldn't reap the rewards of it. You know what I'm saying? The other thing I would change is just giving more power to the artist to earn. You know, so like I'm thankful for platforms like Spin Up, Ditto, DistroKid, where you know where we have more control of uploading our music. So I say more creative control. The last thing I would change is just proper guidance. It's not always about looking at someone as your meal ticket.
What to you is the reward of doing music?
Moments, a chance to pass off positive energy and inspiration. Like even for the video shoot for Cupid's 9, everyone that was on board, like it was a moment that we created all together. That's my aim, to give people that that moment. So whether they're putting on my tune when they're doing their morning commute to work, whether they're attending a live show and there's a lyric that I say that they need to hear because it's going to get them through to the next day. For me, that's the most rewarding part, the moments, and knowing that those moments are really counting towards, you know, someone's life. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. For me, it's like, it's different because I've got the artist side to it and then the science or engineer side to it. So with the artist side, it's like similar to Isaiah, it's literally the energy I get from it. So how it impacts people or how people feel when they listen to it. Now, as an engineer, it's the growth with mixing, whether it's mixing, mastering, to be able to listen to like my first ever mixes and be like, wow, you've actually made a journey, you know, from that to this. That's tremendous. So like, it's actually developing every day. Isaiah, you know about this. So literally it's that journey from that point to like here and then where this could be, because everyone strives for greatness. So as part of that, it's just putting in practice on a daily. So mixing daily and then actually being aware of like the changes being made. That is always one of the best feelings for me.
Now, even as you say that, like the other day I was listening to all our old songs, like just on a random kind of thing. And then I listened to our newer songs and I was like, sometimes you don't know how far you've come until you just momentarily look back and then you realize, whoa, the levels have actually been crazy. And then like, it teaches you a lot about yourself, you know, and one of the most beautiful things I feel that it's taught me, I'm capable of having a vision or dream in my head and I'm strong enough to execute it and make it into reality. No matter what background you're from, that's a human desire that's deeper than race, that's deeper than culture, that's deeper than blood. It's like the ability to see something in your mind and to make it real. That's one of the most rewarding things.
Also, to add to that as well, it's also the integrity that comes with what we do as well. If you take us out of artist mode or whatever, we're regular people, being able to like juggle certain things within our lifestyle and like adding that to music, being able to like deal with all of that and still be as authentic as possible and sticking to what we do basically. Like it actually comes with a sacrifice as well.
What advice would you give people who want to get started, who might be afraid or who, like you said, have that 9-to-5 or are studying? What advice would you give?
To those people, I think this can apply to everyone who's maybe doing a career that, not even a career that they don't want, but like maybe they're just not so like fond of and they want to break into something different. I had to put it into a lyric the other day as well. It just goes, you ain't defined by what you achieve musically, because you can lose it all. I'm unwrapping how to live within the present, just the chance is what I'm grateful for, something like that. What I mean to say in that lyric is that, like, sometimes the joy isn't always in the success, because there's people that have that success and they don't know how to enjoy it. Sometimes the actual joy comes from just the chance, the freedom, the liberty to achieve and, like, at least strive. Like, with me, my love for the art, my love for the craft and for the music, whether I top charts today or I still get one play on Spotify tomorrow, it won't change the quality, the consistency and the dedication I have. Define what success is to you, and also be yourself. Don't let anyone define it for you. Don't try and fit in or water down your art or try and shape it so that you can break into this or break into that. No, I'll say this to round up. Like, my music, like, I used to talk about a lot of different things. Sometimes when I was with around a set of people, they'd be like, nah, that's whack, that you should be like this, you should be like that. And I tried, I listened to it, took their advice, it wasn't getting me anywhere. But then when I got back to my roots, you know, when I got back to being myself, which is doing exactly what I want to do, like the music that people said I shouldn't be making, that's when my fan base started gravitating towards.
One of the main things for me, give yourself time to grow, because you've got nothing to compare that best version of yourself to. And what you may be seeing at the time is limited, could be limited by your passion. So even though you've got room to grow, whether it's as a singer and you're thinking you're the best, why aren't people vibing to me? Like, a lot of times, although you may try to be honest or appreciate honesty, we're also sensitive as artists. Like, everyone, whether it's a musician or an actual painter, everyone is actually sensitive and will always be sensitive about their work. That's just like the facts of life. That happens with everyone. We're human beings, cool. But by giving yourself time to grow, you'd actually take time. Within that time, you'd be able to pick up on little things that you could have progressed on, or you have progressed on, whether it's the writing ability, the technicality in rapping. Now, at the time, they never responded. When they saw my links or whatever, they never responded. They never bothered. Now, oh, you're sick, you know. How long have you been doing music for? I sent you links a couple years back. Do you remember that?
You know who your real ones are through it, because of the fact that you'll send links to people, they'll ignore it. But then when you're popping, they're like, oh my God, when did you start doing music? And you're like, you didn't wake up yesterday. You know I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. You see what I mean? But also, like, you could either take that in a bad way or actually take that in a good way. Because for me, it's like, okay, cool. I within myself have acknowledged, like, the growth it's taken. And I would appreciate you knowing me now for what I do now than for back then. Because, yeah, there was still a lot of growth to be done. Yeah, that would be my advice.
The thing I want to talk about as well is, like, the idea of the underground artists. Like, all three of us would be considered underground artists. And I guess the question is, like, what makes the underground scene so special? Because I know that there are so many things about it that I love, that I wish more people knew. Because a lot of people are like, oh, how do I discover new artists, when really it's right in front of them? There are so many opportunities, especially in London, where you can find these underground artists, where you can actually go and become the underground artist if you want to. What would you say is so special about that underground artist scene?
What is exciting for me is there are a lot of talented people. They just want to be heard. A lot of people just want to be heard. But also, I feel like even within the community as underground artists, we need to help each other in finding ways as to which we could get our music heard. It also has a part to play with the audience as well. How receptive are you to new artists?
Something that's cool about being like an underground artist, I mean, just like the memories you create along the way with your day ones. I think that feeling is unbeatable, and that feeling of like connecting with people or people seeing, like, so when people are noticing certain things about your work, it just feels different. Also, like, it was something that Kano said in an interview, like, with social media now, like, you can, you know, blow up overnight, quite literally. But with the underground, you get to make all your mistakes away from the spotlight. What Fèroce was talking about earlier in terms of take your time to grow, all that growing takes place underground.
If you could work with anyone or several people on top of your head, who would you work with?
There's a big difference between artists that you love, like, and respect. And then there's a big difference between artists you would collab with. Artists that I would work with, I see myself working with. Shaka, Ling Hustle.
Yes.
An artist by the name Congo Boy. Hey, off the top of my head, that's it, you know.
Underground artists, there are a lot of artists, like so many. I mean, Isaiah is out for this for me because we've already got so much going on. So yeah, he knows his top priority anyway. So he don't count for this one. A lot of underground artists, because we come across artists every day, as you mentioned, because the underground scene is so big, and even those within our circles or mutuals, like a lot of great artists I would like to collab with. One thing, little disclaimer to some artists, yeah? Respectfully. If you ain't really checked out I don't need you to be a fan, bro, like, or sis. But if you ain't checked out my music, please do not ask me for a collab. Listen to that. Take time before asking for a collab, because I need you to work with me rather than me work for you when we're meant to be collabing, if you get what I mean. So that's what I would have to say on that.
I have mad respect for that. I have mad respect for that. What is one of the craziest things that's ever happened to you on set or at a recording studio, or just in general, like just a crazy memory?
Too many, man. Just even like at this early stage of our like careers, it's given us a lot of cool moments. So I'll just go with the most recent as opposed to the most craziest. But the most recent was just my video shoot for Cupid's Line. At one point we were dancing, doing a little candy, little two-step.
Love
and then
that.
the next minute, we're all in the zone. We're all very focused. We're all ready and we achieved the product. That was really fun, just connecting and vibing with people.
It's mad because I've got a lot of... You see, when, like, I don't know, for me, every, like, studio experience is, like, or more especially those I share with other people, it's very, very similar. There's always a certain type of energy in the room every time, like, there's a collab. So for me, it's actually hard trying to, like, pick one. I'll say the last time we linked up for Isaiah's birthday, actually, boom, so we had a little 2 sips or whatever, and then we were trying to find beats because I was working on Emergence at the time, and funny enough, it's the day we actually recorded No Banter. So boom.
Wait, what? That was recorded on your birthday?
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, cool. Now it's coming back to me.
What?
Nah, this is how crazy it was. So cool. Isaiah came around. Like, the intention was literally just to chill and catch up and everything. And we were trying to find beats for me to actually find a 3rd or 4th song to. So not even our collab. You get what I'm saying? So boom, we found a couple. We were like, cool, going through the list. This is cool. This works out. We didn't know about this one. And then we came across one which we done a freestyle to. Boom. After that freestyle, like, the buzz was so much and the energy level was so high. The beat we had for Emergence, we already had that in the beat selection process. So we were still trying to find the beat to work on. To which, when we came back to the beat for No Banter, we just vibed to it.
Yeah.
All done, mixed, recorded, mixed, mastered the same night. So that for me will be a highlight.
My last question for you guys will be, what is next?
Cupid's 9. Cupid's 9 is next.
That's correct. We're moving.
Look out for the visuals to that. Definitely check out Just Isaiah's social media. Like, check out his content, check out his YouTube, stream his music. Like, art, when art is deserving, like, you actually need to. So, like Get said, yeah, man never begs for this, but this one, we want it.
Yeah, I want it. Like, I'll be honest, I want it.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm loving this bromance moment. Instead of plugging yourself, you plugged your friend. The love is real, and I love that. But for Rose, you gotta plug yourself too. Hello.
Don't worry.
I'll plug Rose. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, please watch the YouTube video for Handy. It's a movie. Now it dropped his debut EP, Emergence, which he talks about the 3 amazing tunes on that. He's also dropped a recent single called You. So make sure you stream all of those. They're all a vibe, and it's premeditated murder what he has coming. You know what I'm saying? And then he's gonna kill you softly with the sweetness of the tunes. So
I'm getting real poetic about it, guys. Wow,
Hey,
real poetic with it.
Nah. And we can't forget our hosts. Cannot forget the one and only Girl Boss Savage.
Yo, Savage.
Oh, you guys are nice, man. Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, if you guys don't know,
Definitely.
all 3 of us actually have a song together, but that, you know what I'm saying? But
wait
yeah,
on it.
bro.
Yeah, make sure you stream her music as well. I see you lot always watching her videos. How can you be watching her videos without streaming her music too, man?
Changing is our
Subscribe,
favorite thing.
like, and obviously, if you have any questions for Rose, for Isaiah, for myself, any of us, literally comment it below. And I think there's a lot of people who can relate to so much of what you said. A lot of me contacting you and bringing you here was not because, oh yeah, we're like friends, but outside of that, professionally, I respect you guys on a different level as an artist, as well as a consumer, as a listener. But so much love, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. This has been overdue. Hopefully, we'll be back soon.
Principles should have made us see more. It is what it is. Young, wild and free. Ignorance bliss, but age can't replace what experience